Hello there. Friends, I think we all have that one special Star Wars game. And even though it's kind of cheating, I actually have several. But one that always stuck with me was Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith for the PS2. And the reason for that are many, and exactly what we'll be going through in this video. But to a kid who really preferred the prequel trilogy, Revenge of the Sith really had that extra oomph. Whether it came to lightsaber battles, visuals, the music, or just a storyline, honestly. And even though it was a movie tie-in game, Revenge of the Sith had a lot going for it. And that's exactly what I'll be talking about in this video. And that's why today, I've donned the full outfit, as I aspire to always having the high ground.
High ground important is.
Perfect. The mid-2000s were something special, especially if you were a Star Wars fan. Not only did we get heavy hitters like the Knights of the Old Republic games and the beautiful Empire at War, but this was an age of movie tie-ins. And in my view, arguably the best movie tie-in ever was none other than Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. If you ever wanted a Star Wars game with awesome lightsaber combat, look no further. Listen, I love Revenge of the Sith. It's my favorite Star Wars movie, offers by far the best lightsaber action, and to a 13-year-old kid, that meant everything. But Revenge of the Sith has remained my favorite ever since, partially because of the music, the story, and how everything comes together here. The fact that the tie-in game became as awesome as it did feels like pure luck when you realize how many trash games like these there are. But Revenge of the Sith did something truly special, and I'll tell you why right now. Star Wars Revenge of the Sith continues the tradition of many other games during this era, namely by being a game whose levels are chopped off into set pieces. Each mission represents a different part of the movie, which really is the most you can expect from a direct movie tie-in like this. You'll definitely recognize the Separatist ship from the opening, and Obi-Wan on Utapau on his hunt for General Grievous. But what I love about this game is that it also explores more of what Revenge of the Sith could have offered if the movie was longer. There are actually 4 levels on the first Separatist ship, one where we play as Anakin right after the landing, one as Obi-Wan where we fight our way through the inner parts, a third where we travel by the famous high-speed elevators, and fourth where we fight Count Dooku himself. Actually, that was wrong. There were 6 whole levels on the Separatist ships. There was a 5th where we were playing after saving Palpatine from Count Dooku, running down the corridors of the ship once more, and a 6th where we actually met the bodyguards of General Grievous. I think they were called Magna Guards, and those were quite annoying to fight honestly, but also a cool change. Most levels have this sort of structure, where one or more missions take you through the environment itself, before we end up at a boss fight in the next mission. It works well enough, especially when those awesome moments from the movies are shown in more detail. We also get some really nice references to the movies, and I feel like the relationship between Anakin and Obi-Wan are represented very well indeed in the various cutscenes and back and forths.
Anakin, if you're not too busy, we still have to rescue the Chancellor.
Yes, Master. I've just run into some old friends.
Nice shooting.
You expected less? Let's get moving. We need to meet up with R2.
As much as I love chopping up droids into pieces, watching as their parts are cut off and glowing after feeling the lightsaber cut, or fighting alongside the clone troopers on Utapau, my personal favorite level has to be the one and only Attack on the Jedi Temple. This is where we really get to experience Anakin's fall to the dark side, and it begins rather brutally.
I want access to the temple's signal beacon.
On whose authority?
By order of the Supreme Chancellor.
That is not within the Chancellor's power. Only the Jedi Council can authorize access.
The Council is no longer in control.
You won't get away with this, Skywalker!
Damn, Anakin, not just the men, but women, children, and the librarian too? Now you might sit here, look at this stuff, and not feel much. But to me, this level was insane. Here we are, killing innocent Jedi Knights and Padawans trying to defend themselves. But we both know they're going down, especially when Anakin offers up this golden nugget.
Jedi traitor.
Man, I remember playing this level for the first time, actually being Dark Anakin and just like thrashing the entire Jedi Temple, and actually going from being able to force stun to force lightning, and that was kind of a big deal. You can really feel his madness and anger here, perhaps better than even in the movies. The one thing that's mysteriously missing though is Padme, who's nowhere to be found in this game, and she's even cut from all of the tie-in movie scenes. So if all he did was play the game, you might just think Anakin just really loved the Chancellor and didn't want Master Windu to kill him, which is admittedly kinda weird, but in the context of everything, it really works. It's a long level too, and I really appreciate the effort put into making the Jedi relatable by hearing what they're saying, and the power of Anakin himself.
You'll never win! This ends now.
Anakin just really feels like he's totally fallen to the dark side here. It was a really long level too, and I actually prefer those levels where you had a lot more time, and where it could fill up that really long experience bar. And just the music as well, like it really feels like these games during this era were just made by fans, you know? Even though they weren't the best at every aspect, they just had that feeling of being made by people who were really passionate about the series. We even get to meet a few Jedi characters we haven't before, which gives the Temple Assault that much more weight to it, especially because we're fighting and killing a Padawan and the Master. And speaking of Masters, the boss fights in this game are awesome. They stand apart not only because they're so much harder than the regular enemies, but also because it really feels like you're fighting another Jedi here. Unlike certain other games where the boss fight combat feels like a random hack and slash fest, the bosses of Revenge of the Sith feel like they know their moves, and as if you can actually react to and counter them. They are all here too, so you'll actually be fighting Count Dooku, General Grievous, Master Windu, more Jedi, and of course, the astonishing duel of the fates between Anakin and Obi-Wan. It's intense, going from one famous location on Mustafar to the next, with awesome cutscenes breaking up each sequence.
I only wanted what was best for you, Anakin. I wasn't prepared to train someone like you.
That's your failing, not mine.
Perhaps I did fail you, but I won't abandon you to the dark side.
That's not your decision to make.
Whew, is it just me or is it getting really hot in here? I guess I will do what I must. It all ends on a tiny platform in an intense showdown where getting away for a moment's rest is impossible. But if you play your cards right, you too can kill Anakin with a lightsaber through the heart. And this was just so awesome. I really love that this game was made as if it was a fighting game. Like you had all of these tricks and skills, and those finishing moves were just so awesome pulling off in the heat of battle. Or, hear me out now, you can finish the game, then play the now unlocked bonus mission where you play the fight as Anakin, turning everything on its head.
I will do what I must.
You will try, my old friend.
If you win this time, you get this awesome and nasty cutscene of Obi-Wan's tragic demise that really just hurts.
It's over, Anakin! I have the high ground!
You underestimate the power of the dark side.
Don't try it!
But there's more, as Anakin himself has one last surprise for the Emperor. I love this addition so much, as I feel like it gives the game that extra sense of love and passion. There are even more bonus missions here, where you can play different challenges, including one as Darth Vader versus Ben Kenobi on the Death Star in one final showdown. And speaking of showdowns, let's get into this whole fighting thing, shall we? Star Wars Revenge of the Sith offers the best lightsaber combat system in any game I've played, and that's not a joke. And this is how it's possible. This game follows the same combat philosophy as many actual fighting games out there, by having different moves and attacks mapped to various button combinations. You have light and heavy attacks, and both mashing and combining buttons will unleash some cool moves. You can even use the force by holding the button at the end of a combo to make them extra powerful, which will also sidestep an enemy's guard. Using the force by pushing, lifting, or using mind control and force lightning is also possible, but not only that, we also get some awesome grab attacks, counter attacks, blocking, and even jumping attacks. But my all-time favorite move has to be Anakin Skywalker's twirling lightsaber move, which is just so reminiscent of the moves he makes in the movie. It's one example of the faster moves of Anakin, while Obi-Wan has a somewhat slower approach, a bit more cautious and calculated. The combat system is fantastic, varied, and always feels like there's something more to learn, owed to the upgrade system, which unlocks new moves and tricks. My biggest gripe here though, and it is understandable that games like this didn't offer it at the time, is the blocking system. Right now, blocking can be done for as long as you want, which can get a bit tedious. Instead, I would have loved it if the game offered an endurance meter, where blocking for so long would deplete your stamina. This would lend more dynamism to the fights, and I'm saying fights because there's even a multiplayer option here. By playing the game, you unlock heroes and villains for the multiplayer versus mode. It's awesome, gives the game so much more longevity, and you can even play the same character at the same time, where the player 2 will get an alternative version of the main character. The pre and post match lines are awesome too, and you can really feel the love and passion put in here.
It's time to die!
Let's see what you can do. Come on, unless you're afraid.
But there's even more multiplayer co-op here, and even though it would have been nice if the main campaign had been co-op, I'm really happy that they at least added these other modes as well. Star Wars Revenge of the Sith offers by no means an extraordinarily revolutionary gaming experience, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. You see, this is a Star Wars game that sets out to offer awesome lightsaber fights and that feeling of reliving the movie. And in this way, and by offering a cool upgrade system, fun levels, extended missions that takes us behind the scenes of the movies, and some really exciting multiplayer opportunities, Revenge of the Sith has somehow managed to become one of my all-time favorite Star Wars games. I still to this day wish that more Star Wars games would utilize its approach to combat, as not even the likes of Jedi Fallen Order or the revamped system of LEGO Star Wars come close to feeling this satisfying and engaging. Even though it'll never see the day, I would love a modern remake of this game, if only to have Dark Anakin meet Light Anakin head to head and say,
You can't beat me. This should be interesting. Don't force me to kill you. You're a disgrace to the Order.
And that was Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith, the by far best Star Wars movie in my opinion, and with a great tie-in game, and now you know why. I really love this game as you can tell, and if you want to play it again, it is actually available on Xbox as a backwards compatible game, and in 4K at that, where it just looks really good. If you have any memories of Star Wars Revenge of the Sith, do let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed the video, I really hope you leave a like, sub to the channel, and consider supporting me on Patreon, or as a channel member. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.